Hello, people. Listen, I'm doing this show basically not wanting to do it. You know, one of the things is I wanted to stay out of the mix, but there comes a time you can't stay out of the mix anymore. And the things that have been being said for the last couple days, I don't give a shit who's saying them. I couldn't give a shit if it was my children, my partners, or whoever it was. I just couldn't care. You know, first, let me play this. I'm going to use a piece from Ball Sicilian. If you want to copyright me, Ball Sicilian, you can go right ahead. But I don't think you going to want to copyright me on this. Let me play this.
These motherfuckers
In the fridge.
Okay, wait a minute. I forgot to put my headphones in. That ain't going to work too good. Give me 1 minute, please. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me do this one more time now.
If you're insinuating that he's dangerous and there's some risk to it, I wouldn't agree. It's that one. Here we go. Thank you to the person who sent that to me.
So I don't understand what
You ready, guys?
your hiccup is. Fucking 20 years, and I still got a six pack. These motherfuckers walking around all flubber
In the fridge.
And I love. I mean, and this is fucking day.
Yeah, there you go, babe.
Right now, fucking day. Every fucking person that's out there crying about their PSTD or whatever the fuck they call while they got these fucking problems because they were pussified motherfuckers that went into the service to get a free college. They didn't go into service to be a soldier.
All right. We're going to hear what he says in a second, but I just want to pause it for a minute. I got to do that.
I just want to pause it for a minute. I got to do that. So I paused it. Let me turn it back on now.
I don't feel sorry for you just because you have soldier on your fucking thing. You wasn't no soldier. If you're over there laying up, I can't take it.
Real nice, right?
Yeah, you fucking pussies got what you deserved. If I was a president and I knew a bunch of fucking freeloading cocksuckers joined the service just to get free college, I'd start a war and send you all the fuck over there. That's what I would do. I would start a war just to get rid
You believe
of
this? You believe what he's saying?
cocksuckers join the service just to get free college. I'd start a war and send you all the fuck over there. That's what I would do. I would start a war just to get rid of you motherfuckers. Okay? Those who survived and came back are sitting on street corners in Manhattan. Ex-veteran. Can you help a vet? Can you help a vet?
Now he's making fun of homeless veterans. And he's saying that all the people that joined the service to get free college and stuff, if he was president, he would start to send you over there to get killed.
Fuck you. You ain't no vet. You ain't no soldier. Just because you had the fucking uniform don't mean you fucking earned it. You know what I mean?
That's all I'm going to play.
Well, that's all I'm going to play of this. And let me take this down and then I'm going to address this and talk to you about a couple things. This really bothers me. It's something awful. The main reason it bothers me, I've been a fuck up most of my life. I had 10 good years with my family. From 2010, no, I'm sorry, was it 2000? No, from 2001, when the Trade Center was hit, until for 10 years, I actually was a big part of my children's lives. And I was content. I wasn't bored. I wasn't out committing crimes. If anybody would check up on me, they would see through the 80s and 90s, and I was committing crimes all the time, always getting in fucking trouble. But for those 10 years, I didn't get in trouble. Why? Because part of my life was raising my three kids. And you know what all three of them have in common? They were all in the military. And they were in the military when things were really bad overseas. I got lucky with my daughter because when she went in, she went to work up at Camp David. Actually, she was working there for about a year, and she had special privileges guarding Camp David when Michelle and Barack Obama used to come there. She was a CB. And she lost that position because what they did is when you work there, they check people in your past or people you've been associated with. And they came across my record. So she couldn't stay at Camp David. And I was really upset that I cost her Camp David. But that's a background search that they do. And they found that on me. And anybody that goes up Camp David as a CB, the CBs are the ones that actually take care of the grounds there. That's their job. That's the CBs. They're at Camp David taking care of it. And it was very hard for her to get that position. Okay, so she goes there and she's disappointed in stuff. But she gets lucky because they send her to Turkey, and she spent 6 months in Turkey. And she loved it. She learned a lot about the culture and everything. And then she went to Vietnam because the CBs were digging wells there for the people. And you know what she did for the year she was there? She worked with the kids in school, and she would start GoFundMe pages and stuff. And she would help these kids, and everybody used to give her tons of money for the kids, and the kids had no shoes on their feet. I mean, all these beautiful little kids, they had nothing. But TJ worked really hard. A lot of the soldiers there did that. They had a big impact on these Vietnamese kids' lives. Well, she did her first 4 years, and then when the military started changing, she left. And then my son, Kevin. Kevin is still in the military, and he's a sergeant. He leads a regiment. And when Kevin was 17 years old, he was in high school, and he wanted to go in. Now, Kevin's my stepson, just so you know. And he wanted to go into the military, but his real father, our mother, would not sign for it. So I took him down to the recruiter and stuff, and I signed to get him in. I hope I don't get in trouble for that someday, but he laughs about it now because he's in his 30s and he's still in the Army. And but it's part of his career. And then, and this is my daughter and Kevin when they when he went to TJ's graduation. And I remember when they came home, that picture right there is of Kevin, and that's my son Lee and my granddaughter. And I took this picture from behind when they were walking through we went to a park and they were walking through the park. And this is my son Lee, the day of his graduation. out of the Navy base. See, if you haven't experienced being a father of military children, then shut the fuck up. You cannot make fun of people, or first of all, Tony, you might get mad when I say this, but I get PTSD from listening to you. You have to understand, Tony, that these soldiers that have these issues have seen people standing next to them blown up into pieces. They've had their legs blown off. They've had their arms blown off. They lost their best friends. Do you know what it's like to be in a firefight in Iraq and Afghanistan at nighttime and you could see the bullets whizzing past your fucking head? And these are young kids, 18, 19, 20 years old. And you're going to question whether they have mental issues or they're just using the system. Every damn one of them deserves that college money. I mean, tomorrow, I still have a son that could be called in to go away. Lots of parents do. Enough's enough. This is bullshit now. And I couldn't give two shits who says they're going to unsub for me because I'm calling someone out in this, because I am calling that person out in this. It's time to shut the fuck up already. You know, I'm considered someone with a big mouth and everything, and everybody comes after me because, you know, my attitude maybe is a little, you know, frigid at times and a little wicked. But never would I imagine someone speaking that way about the military. When I heard this, I said, nah. Then I couldn't find it. But believe it or not, I watch FBS probably every night. Don't take that for anything, FBS. You know, you're an asshole, but you're an entertaining asshole. So I heard him playing this recording, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? How many families have been devastated? And then you got to talk about 9/11. I was in Peekskill, New York, the day that the Trade Center was hit. That's 30 miles up the Hudson. And all I remember, okay, well, first of all, I was in Peekskill. My brother Tom was in Manhattan. My brother Eddie was in Manhattan when this all happened. They couldn't get out of the city. My brother Tom was a bodyguard, and they were down near One Plaza where you talked about hitting, which I fucking don't believe you. So they were down by One Plaza, and the car got full of soot and everything. And you know, one thing I remember about being 30, and people in New York can probably say that smell. 30 miles up the Hudson, you could smell it. You could smell that death, the burning bodies. And that smell stayed in the ear for like a week, 2 weeks. And then you had all these firemen and you had these policemen that went there. And the ones that didn't die, they eventually died 10 years later, horrible deaths. You know, if you want to act like an ass kicker, that's one thing. But now you're going too far. And you might say, oh, here's what you're going to do. You're going to say, fuck that fat slob, fuck him, let him go to hell and whatever else. Everybody's done it to me. I don't really give a shit. I don't give a shit if people say, oh, Lee's causing drama, because this ain't fucking drama. This is about, if I don't say something, I'm a scumbag. I can't come on here and be proud of the military and go after Anthony Ramundi and have somebody from the show come on my show talking about Ray Ramundi being stolen valor. You know, I think what your problem is, Tony, you never had no kids. At least I hope you haven't. Like I said, I made some mistakes as a father, but my 10 best years were the years my kids were in the military. I remember when all my kids were in the military and I decided to go visit them one summer. So I would start out and I went to at that time my daughter, she was at Camp David. So I would go to Maryland and I picked her up and I took her down to North Carolina. And then I went to get my son, Kevin, who was at Fort Benning. And then we went to my sister's house in North Carolina. We had a great time. And then I went to meet my son. He was in Virginia. So all three of them were in the military at the same time. And I remember one of my kids, I don't want to name which one, but I remember one of my kids disappeared off the face of the earth, and I was wondering where they were. The worry that people do when their children are out there. Sure. These people join for the military money, for the school money. Why not? Why wouldn't they join for the military money? I got pictures that I put up. You can go and look at my 3 pictures of my grandfather, 1916 in the Army. And that's right on here. You can see the picture. Then I had an uncle who fought in Iwo Jima. And then he came home. And in 1956, he jumped in front of a fucking train. PTSD. That back then, they didn't know what it was. They didn't even talk about it. You know, they had a fucking asshole General Patton smacking people in the face because they were shell shocked and stuff. But this is like too far. What the fuck is your problem, dude? This is a shame right now. I mean, you cannot be a conservative and talk this way. It's like you don't even know what you are. I couldn't put you in any party. I think you talk for the sake of talking for you. You know, whatever at that moment is what you got to do. As for homeless vets, that's PTSD. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Do you know what it's like? Well, of course you don't know what it's like. Could you imagine being someplace where you hear bombing all night long? See, that's what these soldiers that when they're in Iraq and Afghanistan this is what happened to them. They would be in their bases. They would build these bases in the middle of Afghanistan, in the middle of the desert, surrounded by Taliban, surrounded by everything. Everybody hated them. They were just this one little group. Every night they would have something shot into the base. Somebody can be hit with some type of rocket fire and be killed. What you need to do is you need to apologize. Because I'm not going to talk to you ever again, dude, until you take care of yourself. You know, I can understand you being mad and everything, but this is one time you just jumped down the wrong rabbit hole. There's one thing about being funny. It's another thing about you attacking everybody because we're all a bunch of fucking assholes. We all deserve to be attacked. But this is just, as they say, as the military picture, a bridge too far, dude. I don't know what else to say except that the people in the military right now, anybody that comes on and hears that crap, If they're not disgusted, I don't know what to say to you. Now, there's a lot of people that I know that are Tony's friends and stuff. I would say not friends, I'm sorry. A guy like Tony does not have friends. Tony does not have friends. Tony has acquaintances. And he hangs out with them until he doesn't need them anymore. That's why him and Tom make a great couple. Okay, well, that's all I want to talk about, people. But I'm going to put this video right up because it's bullshit. And if you're going to write in my chat room that I'm an asshole or something for drama, if this is drama, then so be it. I'm defending the military, you damn straight. I mean, look what they're going for right now. You cannot say you're part of a political party and then say the things you're saying. It's impossible. I'm not going to speak about this no more. I got 2 videos I got to put out that are already made, just sitting back here right now. I didn't even want to do this video. So I literally got 3 videos that I got to put out, but I'm not going to throw them all out one time. I want this one to get out there because I think it's important to get out there. So if anybody wants to provoke Tony and say Lee was going after you and stuff, go right ahead. Make sure you explain to them why. Don't call me or nothing because I'm not going to answer over this. There comes a time that a man has to make a stand in his life. And this is one of those times. Okay. Oh, and just an update real quick on Deanna. She is out of ICU after 3 weeks and into rehab. So it's still, it's still touch and go because of all the damage to the lungs. I guess she'll see where that goes. But a lot of people ask me that. I just wanted to mention that to you. And besides that, that's it, everybody. Thank you. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything because this is just, I'm so sick right now. I really can't imagine this man saying this shit. I really can't. Everybody take care.